Hey everybody, it's me, Shielzaki, back with another video for you guys. I know it's been an extended time, but had something happen in the family that needed attention, and been kind of hard, but I'm back. I got a clear enough mind that I can now think about actually doing videos again, right? Some things have changed, and I feel like before I go any further, I'm just gonna kind of lay out the foundation of how I got here. Like, what was my first ever kind of everyday carry thing before I knew what everyday carry was. And that, alright, let me grab these things. There we go. Okay, so first off, this was the kind of battery bank that I had. As you can see, very well used, got a lot of scuff marks, had a flashlight. Was pretty good. But there's a problem. Let me see if I can show this without So the battery's bowing. And it's time to replace it. Because this, let's see if it shows it. This was 10,500 milliamps. The battery capacity. This will only halfway charge the phone, or charge this 2.5 times. So pretty good, but obviously no longer 10,800 milliamps. I replaced that with this, and it's been pretty good. Not as many slots, like 2 USB slots, but doesn't really matter. No flashlight, but obviously because I have now a smaller flashlight, you'll see why. I just didn't need a flashlight, right? And this, I believe, is, let's see if it'll focus, 8,000, rated capacity is 8,000. So there you go. This will charge my phone just about 1.5 times. I went from that to, what if I just needed something just real quick for just to throw in my pocket? So that's when I found this. Very small. I think it's like 2,500? 2,600. Very small, simple, does the job. Doesn't have USB-C, it just has the Lightning and then a USB. So, yeah. It's good enough, lasts long enough, will give my phone just enough juice that I can do what I need to do for it. So this one is usually for my phone, and this one is just backup for either the Chromebook or phone or flashlight, or if I need extended battery life. Yeah, I don't have the first watch I've ever had, which was, I think it was just a big clunky sports watch, you know, the kind that kind of looks like this. But it broke, things happen, and it was replaced with this, which is now the longest watch I've ever had. I wonder if it has a date on the back. Well, there you go. There's the there's all the product information. Anyway, only changed the battery once, and it was quite easy. very easy to use, set up, and just maintain. This one, on the other hand, got from Amazon. I like the watch band that has like, it's just grippier, but it's not quite as good. I don't want to talk about that one. But yeah, there was those, and my first flashlight that I really carried was this thing. Oh, there we go. And flash warning. It's not going to flash forever. It's probably just going to do one quick flash. Oh. Well. Yeah. I just need a new flashlight because obviously that one doesn't work, and it does have batteries. It just no longer works. This one, though, is what it was replaced with. And I used this one up until last year. This one, obviously, bright light, flash warning. There we go. Yeah, see, this one works perfect. So that's what that got replaced with. And notebooks, I used to carry like big stuff like this, big binders with notebooks in them and stuff. But then I came across this at a store once. And as you can tell, I carry this all over the place because it's got some scuffing and stuff. Big enough to have notes, big enough to write stuff, small enough to fit, I don't know, in your back pocket. Like, it's that small. I think that's about it. Oh yeah, my first knife. I don't have the first knife. That one is now gone somewhere. But this was the second knife that I replaced it with. Still works, has lockup, fairly sharp, not hair shaving sharp, but it's sharp enough. But there's some problems. It doesn't have any blade wiggle, and it doesn't sit very centered. The handles are cheap plastic. It does have rust and gunk. I can no longer remove the pivot screws. The pocket clip is laughable. And the lockup is all the way to the opposite side. I mean, and there is also, as you can hear, some lock play. So it's been a very longly used knife, but it still functions. Like, that's the surprising part. When it's locked up, even though it's all the way over to the side, even with the smack test, this doesn't close. And it doesn't like get stuck and then you have to like pry it open. It's still very easy to unlock. So it's still like, it still functions as a knife. But I don't use it as much anymore. It just kind of sits on my desk as a reminder of the first knife that I still have. I'm just going to call it now my first knife because I don't know what happened to the other one. But that kind of brings us to the topic. I know, about 10 minutes into the video, you're just now getting to the topic. Yeah, there was some things I had to address. And, but now we'll get to the meat and bones, right? These 5 things. Why are they on the table? Why am I going to talk about them? Well, these first 3 up here is going to be a second look, all in one video. So I haven't used this one very much, the Kershaw Hotwire. It's just some things about it, right? It's not a bad knife. I do like it. I do like it around the house for opening up packages and stuff. But the thing about it is this little texturing here in the middle of the scales. The scales are nothing to write home about, but that doesn't really bother me. It's just where the pocket clip sits and how scratchy it feels. Like when you're putting it in your pocket, it will over time either wear down the scales or eat away at your pocket, literally. So it's not the best. It is like a very good, my knife broke, I need something to fill in the gap while I get a new one, right? Or maybe you're traveling and you just need a throwaway knife. This is perfect for that. For a cheap knife, it still sits relatively centered. It is very, very sharp. Not sharp, but for like a $12, $10, $12 knife, this is sharp enough. So it's good. There's just some things that I just don't like about it that just keep me from carrying it all the time, like the pocket clip, this little texture, which yeah, it grips in your pocket, but just the initial push probably is going to damage the lining of your pocket over time. Not a bad knife, but just some design things that could make it better. But all in all, pretty good little knife, has done its job well, and probably will be on my desk for a while longer. Alright, next up, the big boy, the Kershaw filter. This one I don't have too much to say about it. It's, I think, my only frame lock, and it does its job. It's a knife when I need it to be a knife. The only thing is you will find using the thumb studs to open that the Kershaw will flick open and sometimes your thumb will end up on the blade. So the thumb studs aren't really a good actual way of deployment. Like maybe as a last resort, but even then you might cause some actual damage to your fingers, get yourself cut, just by how jarring it flicks open, which is good, but not good for thumb deployment. Right? The jimping, not really useful. I mean, it's useful, but it can always be better, right? Blade shape, good. Cuts through boxes, eats through boxes. The coating has not really worn off, still there. The scales, when your hand gets wet or sweaty, are a little slick. But then again, you probably wouldn't be using this type of knife if your hands are slick. It's pretty hefty and pretty cheap, but I still like it. Not much has changed of my opinion of this knife. It's still great. Yeah. This is probably one that I would recommend to people if you want to to start getting into knives, EDC carry, all that type of thing. This is something that might set the bar for other entry-level knives. And by entry-level, I mean like the sub $40 knives, right? If this has features others don't, then it makes me kind of question the other knives, right? Yeah. Great little knife, great solid choice. Then we come to this thing, the Gerber Pledge. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this. At first it was sharp, it was somehow very sharp, but it struggled to cut through boxes. When I cut through boxes, let me just show you an example. Okay, I don't have a box. I don't really have a box on hand. But the corrugation, I would never cut through it this way. I would always cut this way. So like when you look down and you see the wavy pattern, I would cut down that way. With the grain, there we go, yeah. I would cut with the grain, never across the grain. And it just struggled not to, and when I cut, I would kind of, like if the box was like this, I would do one of these. So it was kind of, It was never straight, just trying to see if the knife will fail and muscle through it. It was always at an angle, kind of to make it as slicey as possible, and it just wouldn't. It kind of still has that problem. Granted, yes, I know it has a very subpar steel, but even that, you should have some ease to go through. But this, it kind of misses the mark. Now, granted, it could just be mine, could just be how I handle, how I cut cardboard, who knows. I do like every aspect about the knife, but the one thing that I have noticed is the lockup is very almost to the center, almost to this side. But then again, I mean, it doesn't stop the knife being a knife. I do like how the back is. It's just a very simple knife with some features that I think could be better. But then again, that's just me. So all in all, this knife is great. I did have to change the pocket clip screws because they got stripped very easily. This knife is a product of the price point. So don't expect, oh, this is like a rare, the Walmart unicorn, right? The one that looks like the Benchmade. It's not going to be that quality. It's very befitting of its price range. It is a great knife, and that's about it. It's kind of like one of those ones where you buy it and you're slightly disappointed because, yeah, it's exactly what you bought, but you're kind of hoping to be a little surprised. But then again, like I said, it's a product of its price point. Next up, we have this. You've seen this featured on the channel, and you're probably wondering, oh, why is this on the list? Do you have something to say about this? Well, I do, but it's not bad. But it's just something to be aware of, and it could very well just be this specific knife, and not every model of this knife, but just this specific one. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let me just show you. Is it going to focus? Okay, you know what? I might have to do it this way. There we go. You see that movement? That is just barely... like there is some play in the detent. Not a lot, but if you were to shake it like this, or just handle it, it's just enough you would notice it. Now, does it function, or does it change how the knife functions? Absolutely not. The knife locks up perfectly fine, is very usable, is still one of my favorite knives. Lockup, still pretty good. Pretty center. And now I probably should tighten this, because I've used this knife quite a bit. But that's the only bad thing about this knife. I guess the only other thing, if I was to reach for it, is having it in your pocket while you're like sweating all day and stuff, it will stain the blade. So just make sure, unless you're using this for like food, just make sure that you keep like some oil with you. Maybe some mineral oil or just something that's food safe, just to keep the blade coated with and have an extra microfiber cloth around. Great knife all around, still very sharp. But yeah, I just want to talk about that just to make you aware. Now maybe it's just the way this knife is designed. I'm not sure. I don't have two of these to compare. I just have just this one model of it. Next up, we have this, which is which is a David Chen design. Love this knife. I didn't do a unboxing of this or a like first impressions or anything because it was around the time that the stuff with the family, which I don't really want to talk about in a video. Anyway, it was around that time, but I feel I'm still going to try and do my best to give a first impression about this. I did get it because it does match the scale color, and I do love the consistency. The color is the same. Petrified fish, D2 steel, just as the other one is. It is the 818 model, and I got this because I liked the geometry of everything. I like the geometry of the handle. I like the flat grinding on the blade. I like the geometry of the blade. The jimping works just as it should. It is smooth. There's just one thing about petrified fish knives. Both of these are just smooth. And this, by far, is probably one of my most favorite knives. Probably just very closely behind the Swiss Tech, the Werdeg, and the Civivi, the Mini Praxis. Like, it's smooth. Like, this knife, I mean, granted, yes, I knew it would be very good. It's surprising. And I find myself I don't even debate. It's just when I'm going out for the day or something and need something to put in my pocket, it's always this. Now, granted, there might be better knives. This might be a design of something else. Who knows? But it's great. Now, I didn't understand who David Chen was. I did do some light research. Granted, I could be wrong with this, so you feel free to correct me in the comments. But does he design knives or work with Two Sun knives? Which, if so, I might have to check out some Two Sun knives. But yeah, that's this knife. That's pretty much all I had for this video. In the future, I will probably have to do a review on what decides a battery and why I would carry one, and good watches. Also, might do a review on this, a little sneak peek. Might do a review on that. Who knows? We'll have to see what the future brings. And hope you guys have an excellent night. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below if I got anything wrong or if I gave any misinformation. I always like to learn. And hope you guys enjoy. And I'll see you in the next one.